Hi there, folks. This is April Lindevald, your friendly neighborhood tag team member. I've been in tag since it began. I think that's 2018. And I've been in the tag team not that long afterwards, very shortly after I took the trance channeling class with Rachel and learned especially to channel high vibrational beings, but especially my wonderful guide, Merlin, who is my partner guide and who is discarnate at this moment, but remembers his time on earth with great love and the people of earth with great love, and loves to come through many people actually out there. He's a very busy guy, but he loves to teach and he loves to encourage and uplift. I am not expecting a lot of you to be here today. I got my announcement that we were having. I'm usually on schedule every 2 weeks or so, every first and third Friday of the month. And I missed the first Friday this month because I had another commitment on January 2nd. And we were having trouble figuring out how to do how to put pre-recorded stuff on because we were changing platforms. So I missed that one. And we're going to do an extra one to make up for that on January 30th, since there's a fifth Friday this month. So if you are watching this on replay at your leisure, this is information that might be useful to you, that there'll be another Merlin channel on the 30th. And I got my announcement on Facebook late. I got it in late today because we weren't exactly sure what we were going to do. And it's also been a pretty hectic time for me. And I apologize because I think that I just checked for it. And because I put down if anybody had questions, they should give them to me. But I didn't see it there. And I saw the post that said Facebook had something pending that had to be approved. I have no idea what I wrote that needs to be approved. It's ridiculous what they flag as dangerous with the stuff that does get through that's actually dangerous. So if nobody saw the notice and nobody knows I'm on, I understand why you're not here. And you may also be really, really busy or at work. So hopefully you may have a chance to come and see this, notice that it's up, and maybe come and watch it at your leisure on YouTube, or I think it's on replay for a while. Or Rachel usually puts a link to them on in the website on the tag team listings. So what we're going to do today is we didn't have a really a designated topic for today, but there were a couple of things. I asked Merlin if he would give a few insights and comments on the New Year energy, since I didn't get in on January 2nd. He has some things to say about the New Year. I'm sure you've been hearing them from all over the place. Some of them will be the same as what you've heard and confirm, and others might be just Merlin's observations that are different. And also, I suddenly had like a thought, a question that bothered me. I was trying to figure it out. So I asked if he would speak to that in case anybody else might have come across this question. It has to do with ascension. And I was wondering, suddenly, I mean, I've been going along just, like all of us, we've been really excited about ascension and working towards it and working with the high vibrational beings, trying to move the needle closer and also trying to wake people up and teach them and help heal them and help them release things. And so that we're all ready for that when it comes. Okay. So then I have one friend of mine who's blind and very psychic. And he wrote me a question, and he said he is blind, but he's been having some odd things happen to him. One of the things that happened to him, which you will think is really interesting, is he's just recently blind, and there's a lot more technology now and tools that they can give to blind people to help them get around. And he lives in a house in Virginia, and a nice house, and they gave him this thing that he can point it in a room. He can be walking into a room and it can point it in a room, and it will speak to him and it will tell him what's in the room or who's in the room. It will say, so that he doesn't trip and fall or bump into furniture or not know that there's other people in the room or an animal or whatever. So it speaks to him. And several occasions he sort of was walking around his house and he sort of pointed his little device, and the device said, this is the piano room. There's a piano and there's certain furniture, and then there's a man standing in there and a dog under the piano. Well, this dog, who is a seeing eye dog, passed away before that, and there was no man in there that was physical, 3D. And so he was pretty excited about that. And it's happened on several occasions that the device is reading the presence of beings that aren't really there in the 3D physical world. And he's sure that the dog, of course, was his beloved, devoted seeing eye dog who's still hanging around in spirit. So he also said that since he's relying now on his inner eye, because his eyes have gone completely, he says he's starting to experience fifth dimension. She's like seeing in his head while he's going through the world, he's seeing fifth dimensional reality, and then he's seeing third dimensional reality. And he says he keeps kind of floating back and forth between the two, and they kind of superimpose on each other. And he said, is this real, or is it just my imagination? Am I really perceiving something? And I said, yeah, I think so, but I'll ask Merlin. He said, ask Merlin, please ask Merlin, because he is, like I said, he's always been very sensitive and psychic, but if we are open, if we are among the people who are open to the vibrations of the higher vibrations, can you imagine what it would be like, for example, to have your sight taken from you so that you're not always bombarded with the 3D world, or the 3D construction around you, the stuff you're seeing, the stuff on television, the stuff on the news, your own life, your familiar surroundings. If you're not seeing that, but you're relying on what your inner eye or your third eye is seeing, wouldn't it make sense that maybe this would be in some ways a kind of a gift that would help you to sort of focus on the next level of vibration, like that you might start to sort of see in your inner eye the fifth dimensional reality that's already here, superimposed. And that's an interesting thought. Because is it already being constructed for us? And then I thought about the quote from the Bible when Jesus was leaving the earth in his physical body in the Bible, and he says, in my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you. Okay, a lot of people have interpreted that in churches in many different ways. But what if he's referring to the fact that there are many, many dimensions and many different, there's many planetary systems and many places and many levels and dimensions, and he's going to prepare the place for us, so that all this time we've been moving towards ascension, but the fifth dimensional world that we're moving towards when we move up is already being prepared and have been being prepared for a long time. So it's kind of there ready when we're ready to get there. Maybe that's something I promised him I would ask that question. And my question is a little bit about, I got a little confused for a minute because I was thinking about ascension, and I was thinking about, well, wait a second. When we leave our bodies, if we happen to, pass away, or when we do pass away, or when we're living between lifetimes, between incarnations, in whatever, in our soul bodies or in our light bodies, we're not third dimension then, right? We're already souls that are perfect, or in our perfect state. We're already a higher dimension. Now, we're probably not. Our souls are probably not like, like the angels or some of the people that we channel that are 11th and 9th and 13th dimensions. It's, it takes a while to evolve into that, even in your light body. But we're not we're not trying. I was trying to figure out, what are we trying to ascend? Because if we're not physically in the body, do we need to ascend? Are we already fifth dimensional? Are we already seventh dimensional? Are we already, where does the soul vibrate? And what's the point of, why do we have to come down and get into this body in the third dimension and then make it ascend somehow, or this whole physical world? It kind of confused me for a moment because I hadn't thought about it. Are we always third dimensional when we're alive, dead, incarnate, not incarnate, or are we higher than that? But there's a process that there's something that we're doing to try to move. We are volunteering to go in and move the earth, and it's all of its beings, including humanity, up to a new place. I'm sure some of you already have very strong feelings about that and feel like you know the answer. But I kind of thought I'd like Merlin to discuss it a little bit because I hadn't ever thought of it before. And I just wondered if there was pieces of the puzzle that I wasn't understanding correctly. So in case you're curious, that's part of what we're going to discuss today. And I'll make sure that it isn't too long because you're probably, if you are watching, you're probably in a hurry to get someplace else because I know that's been my life lately too. All righty, let's bring in the master and see what he has to say about all this stuff and whatever else he wants to talk about. I will give a quick check first, do some housekeeping, so because once I'm under trance, I'm not thinking of those things. I am looking. I don't see any comments here because like I said, I don't think anybody knows I'm on. Let's try the YouTube station and see if anybody's there. Okay, I don't see anybody, and I'm not surprised. Oh, yes, Catherine's here. Hey, Catherine. I'm very excited that you're here. Thank you for coming. And I'm surprised that you figured out that we were on today. I hope that you can stay for this too. Sending you love and blessings for the new year. No, you're not late. You didn't miss out on anything. I was just explaining that I'm going to ask that my post that this was going to happen came on late on Facebook, and Facebook, I think, or held it up and pulled it back for um, some kind of pending review because I don't understand it. But anyway, I don't know if anybody knows I'm on today, so I was surprised to see you at all. And I was just describing that had some questions from Merlin, cosmic questions that I'm hoping that he will answer and talk about the new year a little bit. So I will let him in now. And just one more thing. I'm just going to show this because who knows? Part of the if anybody should really enjoy Merlin's insights and want a personal reading with Merlin or with me, sometimes if it's just Merlin or if you want card reading besides, this is, show this. See, Rachel I don't have a website, so Rachel has very graciously allowed me to piggyback on her website. There's a page on her website where if you want a personal reading with me or Merlin, you can go to Soundwaves Heal. That's the website, .as.me/April. And not only me, but a few of the other tag team members also have spots on there that you can schedule right there and even pay through that website and schedule something that could be interesting. But anyway, that's just if you feel like that's something you need. And I will get rid of that. All right. Let me see if I can get him to come through. I think he's pretty eager. Yes, I'm delighted to be here with you today. And even if you feel that there is no one watching, there is always someone watching. There's actually quite the audience on this side of the veil for these presentations by tag members. We are always interested in how you work with us, in what you have to say and how you've grown and how you channel us and how you bring forth other beings that maybe some of us don't interact with as much. And so I will say that there are others here with me on this side that are watching. And I will also say that there will be others in the future who find this message and find it useful at the perfect time. And so I will say hello to Catherine, who is one of the team, of course, and doing a marvelous job. And I will say hello to this channel with whom I am very intertwined and feel great affection for. We have shared many times together in lifetimes past, and we are synchronized in energies in many ways. And so I enjoy speaking through her. And today, instead of buttoning down our presentation to a certain limitation of topic, we will speak about a few things. And she has asked me today, first, because it is still early in your year of 2026, counted supposedly from the time of Christ, but very much, the earth is much older than that. I will say that to you. But 2026 is a wonderful number. And I will say, you know how your humanity values the new year as a time of fresh starts and new beginnings. It is the finish of one year in your numbers, in your calendars. That is a cosmic phenomenon. Yes, there is something connected with the solar system and its movements, but it is also just another day. As you know, when you wake up in the morning on January 1st, it's not as if everything has changed completely. However, the reason that you all assign this new beginnings phenomenon to the 1st of January is not just whimsical, because the first thing I shall tell you is that when many people in a group decide on a thing and fasten their attention on it and imagine it and think it and believe it strongly, it will come to be. And so January 1st is a powerful time for new beginnings and fresh energies, just because everyone on the planet seems to believe the same thing and focuses their attention on that being so. And when they do that, of course, because your minds are so powerful, it is a time that yes, it will be for new beginnings and fresh starts. And so the times before that, even through the holidays, has been a time of release and a time of a time of contemplation about what it is that you wish to leave behind in your old year and what you wish to aspire to or reach for in your new year, so that the slate is clean, so that there are things to be let go of. There are things that you would rather not repeat. There are things you would not carry over the boundary with you into the fresh start. And you may imagine this also as a traveler on a journey. And this traveler has been traveling for many years and has been picking up souvenirs and habits and beliefs and old postcards and all sorts of equipment and things, and is now carrying around a backpack that is quite full and heavy, and it is difficult for this person to continue on their journey into a new land where they will encounter new things that they wish to have space in their life to make their own. And so it is only correct and right for there to be a time to spread everything out from your backpack of experiences in your life and say, I love many of these, and they spark memories, and some of the memories are beautiful, and some of the memories are tragic, and some of the memories are anathema to me, but I would like to leave some of this here and keep the memory and keep the experience fresh, but leave the behaviors, leave the things, leave the habits, leave the beliefs that are of no use to me anymore, or that do not help me go further, because I need to travel lighter in my life. And so this is the analogy that you have gone through a period. Now, this is doubly important, because the energy of 2025, because of the number you have assigned this, is adding up to 9, 2, 2, and 5. That is a 9. 9 is the number of endings. It is a cosmic number, and it is a very sacred and spiritual number, but it is also the number of completion. It is the number of everything finishing up, wrapping up, tying up, and being left behind or being released into the atmosphere. It is finishing one chapter or one whole book, so that you may begin anew. You may begin a new book, a new chapter, and you bring with you the lessons, the experiences, the feelings that you have had from all of the previous, which is a whole host of years that have been a part of a larger chapter of your life and a larger chapter of the entire world's life. There are many increments of this. There's your personal journey, and there is the journey of your family, and there is the journey of your community, your country, the journey of your world, the journey of history, And all of these journeys have come into a 1-9 here, where it is all about, now we are in a place where things are new and everything has to be looked at differently. And so you have been forced in 2025. Forced is a tough word, but I would say you have been pushed and urged in every way to re-examine your life and your relationships with people and your relationship with your world and your country and your politics and your everything around you that is assaulting you or that you are engaged with, and look at it with new eyes and question everything and question your beliefs and question even the most dearly held beliefs that you were told as children, or that you were told over and over again were truths. But look at everything and look at how you behave and look at what the consequences of your behavior have been, and look at some of the relationships that have gone sour or some that have become closer, and make decisions and let go of some of the things that are not serving you any longer. Some of the ways you spend your time, some of the dreams you had in your youth that perhaps do not interest you anymore, and some of the people in your life who have been put there for a reason, to teach you something or to bring something out of you, but are no longer really, you are not in the same relationship with them that you might have been earlier. Some of the mistakes that you have made that have taught you things, some of the memories that you keep going back to that are wounds or traumas or grudges that you don't want to hold on to because they are poisoning you. This whole year that has passed was about looking either consciously or unconsciously and deciding to let go. And many of the experiences you've had that have kicked you in the butt, so to speak, to make you let go of more things have not been pleasant. It has been a challenging year for many people. And some of it was to shake you up and allow you to dislodge some of the things that are deeply ingrained in your being, but that are not good for you or that are holding you back. And that is true of many, many people now, because we are entering the sort of the liftoff, the runway to ascension. And as your plane starts to go down that runway and want to ascend, it needs to be light enough to get up there and to go over the boundaries that hold it down, over the power of gravity. And so all the baggages must be jettisoned. And you have been doing that. And it has not been fun always. But you should feel now at this moment, you may feel disoriented. You may feel like, having let go of so much, you don't know who you are or where you're going or what is next. You may feel like there is a great void ahead of you. You may feel, in a sense, you may sometimes feel despair that what is happening, this is not what I thought would be my future or our world's future. But trust, walk over that boundary into the new year, one step at a time, and hold our hands and know that we are here for you. You are never alone, and you are being guided, and you are being protected, and you are being moved sometimes through the fire and sometimes through difficult times that are necessary for your growth, that your soul has chosen. Sometimes it can be easier if you ask for it to be easier. We can help. We can help to a point because you have free will. But if you decide that you are going in a direction and you wish to be assisted, you will get assistance. And if you are leaving behind some things that you are nostalgic about or wistful about, that is all right. It is all right to say, this was beautiful at one time, or this was something I remember fondly. You must remember it fondly. You must be moved, have your heart colored and opened by the things that you are leaving behind. But you do not need to repeat the same things over and over again and stay in that circle where you are still held down to the earth because your plane wishes to take off. And that is what this new year is about. The 10-year, 2026. 10 is the number one, which is a brand new beginning. It is a symbol, a numerical, mathematical new beginning. One, origin, start. Turn the page, new book, new chapter. And 10 with a 0 after the 1 is on a higher level. So right there, you have your year put in front of you in numbers that say, yes, we are already ascended to a higher place than we were last year. And we are already beginning to take off from the ground. And we are moving towards the fifth dimension. If you are not, you are at least stepping into the fifth dimension occasionally. Some of you more time than others spending there. And some of you are even attempting to access higher dimensions than that at times. While you are channeling, while you are meditating, while you are peaceful and calm, you may be sitting in the seventh dimension already. But you still live here. You're still in this body, and you still are mostly three-dimensional beings that are moving towards something. And this is a very key moment because you are moving into a 10-year where the energies, you have been bombarded with energies that have pressured you to release, to let go, to allow change, to allow shift. And then now, over the boundary, new energies, different kind of cosmic energies, different colors, different frequencies, more gentle, more encouraging, more assisting, more for you to trust and to reach for and to aspire for and to believe you will be upheld and protected. Even though everything around you may seem like it's chaos, you will be upheld and protected. I am saying that because it is true, because you are aware of it. So you are moving into this 10-year, and I will say another thing. The Asian community has assigned a different date for their new year. They are expecting their year to flip over into a new period in February, in about a month. And they assign animal totem energies to each year, and it's going to be the year of the horse. And not just any horse, but it's the year of certain kind of horse who is symbolic of the energy of strength, of durability, and of speed, and of moving forward, like a very strong, beautiful stallion, all muscular and moving ahead that you can climb on the back of and fly out into the next place you want to go. And so the year of the horse, this horse does not come up again for another 60 years. Has not been for 60 years before. And this horse year aligns with the 2026 number 10 year. It aligns with the same energy of forward motion, new beginnings, forward motion. Now you've left things behind. Now you're traveling lighter. Now that traveler with the backpack is ready to go forth into a new territory that they've never been in before and begin to enjoy it and collect what they can get from the new places. There is space now in their lives. There is space in their consciousness. There is space in their memory for new experience. And that means do not hesitate. It means standing still is not an option. It means move forward. It means we will not tell you the ultimate destination for each of you. You will have to find it yourself, but you will profit from trusting and having enough faith to just put one foot in front of the other and look for the clues, look for the signposts along the way and see where they direct you and where your heart, your preferences, your delight, your joy directs you as you get to places where you see crossroads. And that is it. When you get to crossroads, you stand and you look and you ask your guides to infuse you with wisdom and to whisper in your ear, and you say, which way will lead to my greatest joy, my highest good, my best avenue of service, and my easiest way forward. These are you've spoken about timelines. In some ways, these are the windows or the doorways to other timelines, which are to different timelines which will lead you one place or another on your journey. And none of the places are wrong. You have free will and you have infinite opportunity and possibility available to you. You don't think that. You always think that you are pressed into situations where you have no choices. You have every choice. Of course, every choice has a consequence, and you must weigh the consequences against the benefits of each choice. This is the cost benefit analysis, so to speak, if you want to use financial technology. But you can do it yourself with our help. We will be there. So you get on your horse or you get on that airplane and you leave this 2025 energy behind and you move very boldly and fearlessly into 2026, because there is an upcurrent that will move you forward. There is a new beginning, fresh start kind of energy wind that is at your back, and it is pushing you to try things, to move boldly, to take that chance, that risk that you've been afraid of or that you have been hesitating about. Because it is time. It is time for you to find joy. It is time for you to grow into your most expansive self. It is time for you to believe in miracles and to make them happen and manifest them with our assistance. So that is I will give you one other image for the new year. As you move into this is a different image that will seem to you to be completely at odds with what I just told you, but it is not, in fact. Imagine yourself on a carousel. This channel loves carousels. She is a very big carousel aficionado and has been on carousels all over the world just to be on them. Imagine yourself on a wonderful steed. It is the year of the horse, and you have picked out a beauty. And you are on this beautiful horse, and it is going up and down and up and down and round, and it is a lovely ride. And this is one of those carousels where at some point on the journey around and around, there is a little dispenser of gold rings. You've heard of this. You perhaps have experienced it, where you may at some point, if you prepare properly, you can reach out and grab that gold ring and have it. And that will get you an extra ride or a prize of some kind or some kind of elevation that will make you very happy. And so imagine yourself on this carousel, and it seems at first it's a wonderful ride and you're enjoying it, but then it seems to be kind of going around and around in circles, and there are ups and downs. There are highs and there are lows, and there are sights that you see over and over again, thinking, well, wait, I thought I was going into a fresh new energy. And then you notice about the gold ring being extended to you. And so the first time you see it, you go around and you cower, because you think to yourself, if I extend my arm to that place, I will fall on the ground and be injured. So your fear has you miss that opportunity. And that is normal, because you don't know. Perhaps there would be a chance of a fall of some sort. And so now you are cursing yourself, because as you move, you are getting further and further away from that ring. But it is moving back again, because you're still circular, coming back to a new opportunity, a new chance. And now you're actually surprised you're going to see this ring again. So this time you rather tentatively reach out a little late and you miss the ring. Too bad. That was sad. But now you've figured it out in your head that this is not the only chance you will ever have. So now you're preparing yourself and you're saying, all right, if I'm going to go through this particular experience again, I'm going to be prepared this time and I'm going to get the prize. So the next time you go around, you make even a harder reach, a harder attempt at reaching for that. And this time you almost reach it, but it eludes you. And you go past. And you think, drat, I thought I was in shape to get that. But I'm determined now, and I know how this works. And so the next time you go around in the carousel, and you see it coming, and you prepare yourself, and you get up in your seat, in your stirrups, and you reach out very calmly, and you take that ring, and there it is. your miracle, your doorway to joy, your prize. I say this silly little story because sometimes life seems like this. You move forward boldly at the beginning of the year on your beautiful new year of the horse stallion, and it seems like maybe the world is your oyster and you will be riding into wonderful things immediately. But that is not always how the three-dimensional, even moving towards fourth and fifth dimensional world works. But you must have faith, because you will never be given only one opportunity to move to that next timeline. You will never be given one chance that too bad you failed. You weren't bold enough, or you weren't athletic enough, or you just missed your chance. And then you are condemned forever to be riding the same ride always. This is not the way the world works. You are here to grow and learn and process and open to things, to experiences, and to respond. And when you respond, the synapses start to go and they start to say, aha, I understand how this works. The first time you went by, you were surprised to see that and you missed your chance. And then you cursed yourself and said, I was a fool. I should have taken that chance. And you didn't think you'd ever get another one again. But of course, the ride came around again. The opportunity to have that experience, that possible leap to another timeline, comes around again. And this time, you think you're ready for it, but you miss it. Because you're not really ready for it. You haven't released enough, or you haven't really decided that what you want yet, or you haven't your belief system is not strong enough. Whatever it is, you missed that opportunity, and once again you are disappointed. But now you know that you are capable of coming around and having that chance again. And each time you do it, you are a little closer, you are a little wiser, you are a little stronger in your faith and in your energetic vibrational your vibration is higher. Each time you do it, each time you come around to this opportunity, you are more likely to succeed, and eventually you will if you continue. The only sin, they say, sometimes is to not participate. And that is when you give up prematurely, when you think you've missed the boat and you are condemned, when you think that there is no elevation from whatever circumstances you find yourself in, whatever things in your life you are not pleased with, you are cutting yourself off from source, and you are not acknowledging the immense power and the immense ability that you have within you to create, to reach for, to gain whatever it is that you wish to achieve in this world while you are here. And so just keep that image in mind, that it is not something to despair over if you miss the gold ring, because it is very possible that an even better prize is being prepared for you as you go around again. And each time you go around, it's in a higher place, like a spiral. So just stay on the ride. Just keep walking. Just move forward. Just be bold, be brave, believe that this is going to be the year when many things line up in good form. And if you think about the carousel as well, when you are on the horse riding around and you look out at the world beyond the carousel, you may see faces you recognize, you may see buildings going by, you may see all kinds of things, but they look chaotic. They're moving. They're always in motion, and they're always, it's not something you can really understand. And maybe this is a weak analogy, but when you look at the world around you now, you will see chaos, and you will see fearsome things and suffering, and you will see things that seem upside down to you and completely unbelievable, because this is the old world being pinched in the buttocks so that it kind of explodes in and responds with great it reacts. It tries to protect itself. It tries to keep the status quo. It tries to fight back. And there is a lot of chaos and ugliness and suffering and things and people acting out in miserable ways. And it feels like everything has just exploded into incomprehensible mess. And you may feel helpless, and you may feel afraid, and you may feel disgusted and in despair. But this is the world that's swirling around the carousel. It is the world that you leave behind when you're moving into your next dimension. It is the last gasp of a paradigm that is dying. And what is to come, well, you may not know exactly what is to come, but it will be better than what you have left. You are moving towards the light. Keep moving. There is another famous quotation that this channel is suddenly thinking of. She believes it's Winston Churchill. I believe I remember this too. And it is just a quick sentence. When you are going through hell, keep going. That is it. When you are going through hell, keep going. What is that? 8 words. Remember that. Keep telling yourself that. Because the whole the gist of that sentence is that, yeah, we acknowledge this can feel like hell. And what would you do? Turn around and go backwards? You cannot. You cannot go back. You cannot move into the past. You cannot hold what is spinning out of control. You are not strong enough to hold it and in place. And you wouldn't want to, because it wasn't imperfect to begin with. It was not. You may idealize it, but it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. Movement is important. Movement is vital for life. And you cannot go backwards. And what would you do? Stand still? Stand still in the middle of hell and just stay there? Let yourself be burned? Be forever imprisoned and miserable? When you're going through hell, keep going. Just keep going, because someday you will reach the edge of it and find yourself in an amazing place. So these are my thoughts on a new year, on the passage into the new year, and keep them in mind, because the time passes so swiftly, and you will be, you will be moving so swiftly through the weeks and the months, and you'll find things perhaps getting more gentle, more easy, more supportive of your efforts. And we know the efforts that you make. They are supreme. They are laudable. And we also wish to say, remember, the year that follows this one will add to 11, which is an incredibly magical and spiritual year. This is something to look forward to. All right. Next thing, we have some questions on the floor. And one of the questions was from this channel's friend who has lost his physical 3-dimensional sight, but claims that he is feeling that his third eye is seeing his 3D surroundings as he moves through them, but also finding himself feeling in the 5th dimension already. And he feels them superimposed upon one another. And it is a bizarre feeling, because he is not using his physical eyes, but he is using his third eye. Now, this is really an interesting thing, because he has the advantage on many of you, because yes, if you think of some of your science fiction and fantasy, pop culture, television or movies or whatever, you will remember perhaps some things about dimensions, of beings in other dimensions, beings who can pop in and out. Poof. And some people think perhaps that when the dragons were tired of being hunted, they popped out into another dimension. And the Loch Ness Monster, who apparently is just a large beast who didn't who now lives in another dimension and occasionally likes to visit his old three-dimensional haunt. Pop right in and out. These are the superimposed dimensional existence. You know that it exists, and it exists simultaneously. And in order to be in a different dimension, you have to vibrate at a higher rate. So if you understand, of course, that your science has already figured out that if you vibrate something, whether it's a pitch, like a sound, there is a point where the sound is vibrating so quickly that you can't hear it because your ears are no longer engineered to hear at that high frequency. Or if it's a sight thing, if it vibrates very, very quickly, it will disappear from view because it is vibrating so fast that you can't see it with your eyes, with your physical eyes. Likewise, if your whole flesh were to vibrate much, much more quickly, if the molecules and the atoms and the cells of your body were vibrating much more frequently at a higher frequency, you would become almost translucent or transparent, as would all the solid things in your three-dimensional world. And so it is certainly possible that there is a whole world around you that is right there superimposed on your world. It is not possible. It is truth that all of these things exist simultaneously on top of each other, and you are not encountering them because your physical senses and your physical body is not engineered to be able to respond to the lack of density in the next dimension. This is a very dense dimension. 3D means it's dense. It's vibrating on the slow side, and so it has a feel to it. It has a solidity to it, and there is value to that. You have a denser experience. You have a more sensual experience. You have more taste, more touch, more. There's more physical enjoyment from the physical 3D body, but we are moving towards the fifth dimension where everything vibrates much, much more quickly, and you're lighter. Your bodies are now beginning to transform into crystalline atomic structure rather than what you have now. And it's lighter and it vibrates. It is capable where the carbon-based form is not capable. It is capable of vibrating at a much quicker frequency. And therefore, it is able to pop out. It is able to basically move to another dimension. And so your ascension could be instantaneous, or it could be gradual. And it can have clues that you get moments ahead of time that are just like, what just happened? And this is because as you transform, as your body becomes capable of holding more energy and being less dense and vibrating at a higher frequency, you may just disappear at a moment and find yourself in a place that you don't recognize because it is a fifth dimensional place that is superimposed on top of your third dimensional place that is already prepared for you. And maybe you will go and come, or perhaps you will just be gradual about, or maybe there will be we cannot say yet how this will come to being, but there are people who are extremely sensitive, and you are among them, who are perceiving the fifth dimension and above already. And you are perceiving in moments, or you're perceiving all the time, some kind of evidence that there is something else going on that is not just the 3D world. And you may hear things. You may hear very high pitches in your ears. That is an evidence of something that is vibrating near you. Perhaps even someone speaking to you, but they're in very high vibration so that you cannot make out the words. Or you may feel somebody near you, or you may find yourself in a situation where you are disoriented, or the landscape seems unfamiliar for a moment, or there are so many ways in which you are perceiving the fifth dimension already. And yes, it is already there. It is already being prepared for you. It is a matter of finding the way to get humanity's the actual incarnate bodies to be able to vibrate at a higher frequency so that they can enter that realm. Now, this person is deprived of his physical sight and is also very sensitive psychically, he has an advantage in some ways. I mean, he has a disadvantage in how he is getting along on this earth in this 3D tasks. And since this has happened to him later in life, it is disorienting for him because he needs to adjust to not being able to relate to his incarnate life the way he always has. It has been a gradual process for him of losing his physical sight and losing more and more of the normal functioning of engagement with the world in 3D. But now, being deprived of that and having a very open third eye, he is beginning to see and to experience moments of being actually in the fifth dimension, of perceiving that it is there, because his third eye is open enough to perceive a higher frequencies than his physical eyes. And so he may not be in it and staying in it entirely, but he can perceive that it is there. He can see something about what it is like. He can feel it in his self, in his light body, in his soul body. His third eye can picture for him some of the things that are there in the fifth dimension and above. And so, yes, it is superimposed. These dimensions are dimensions, so they can be superimposed one upon the other. You will hear many times that it is necessary, for example, for you to speak with a deceased friend, or for an angel to come and visit you. Now, you see in the Bible, you have the angels come and visit Mary, and the angel comes to visit Sarah, and they come to visit and they speak with her, and they say, oh, the angel looked like this. And there are people on this world who say they have seen angels. But you do not understand that it is really difficult for an angel in a very high dimensional vibration to step their energy down so low that they can actually be perceived by the physical eyes of people in the 3D. That is why it is so rare in your world. It is so rare for these visitations to happen, because it is really, really, it takes great skill and great effort for an angel to do that, or for a person who is already discarnate and in their light body on the other side. It takes great effort, and it takes skill to keep practicing to be able to do that, to become dense enough to be seen, even if it's transparently. It's hard work, and they cannot sustain it for very long. Once you are vibrating that quick, it's like if you were walking in New York City on the sidewalk, and you're walking with someone who is severely disabled, and they are going really slowly. They're doing the best they can, but they're going slowly. And you are trying to keep pace with them, but oh my goodness, you cannot walk that slow. You just cannot do it. You cannot do it. You find yourself always 3-4 steps ahead of them, and just being patiently waiting for them, because you cannot slow yourself down enough to be at their pace. And so that is what they are experiencing, those on the other side, and those that are in the higher vibrations and the higher planes. And so that is why channeling is a very good way to reach all of you, because it is easier for us to sort of align our energies and speak through someone who is already third dimensional, but leaning towards, at least open to fourth and fifth dimension, than to just appear before you. That is very difficult for us. I'm in a very, very high dimension myself now, and if I tried to appear before you as Merlin, that would not be very easy for me. I am bigger than that now. I am it would be not something that would be done that often. And so I digress a bit, but the answer to the question is yes, you are already right where you are standing on your earth. There is a fifth dimensional earth with fifth dimensional cities, I would say, but centers, communities being set up, and land features, and It is there. And yes, there are extinct beasts and dragons, and the kinds of creatures, the kinds of elementals that were being seen, the unicorns and the dragons and the other elementals that were once seen on your planet have moved to the higher dimensions ahead of you, and they are there already. And you can sense them. You have them near you, but you can sense them, but they are not seen by you because your physical eyes and ears are not engineered to be able to perceive such high vibration. And on the other hand, you are beginning to vibrate higher and higher and higher. So it is easier for you to be in touch with them, to feel them, and even to channel them. And for this person who has no distraction now because his physical sight is gone, he is now relying on his third eye, his second sight, and the second sight is leading him in new directions. And so he has one foot in each camp, and he is straddling the place where he is straddling it. He is standing in one place physically, but cosmically, metaphysically, he is straddling several vibrational levels and planes at the same time. And yes, it will happen to him more and more. And to those of you who you will find it happening to you in different ways. That you will still see, if you can still see here, you will know that you are in your 3D world, but when in your meditations, in your dreams, and in certain moments, you will just find yourself more and more somehow transported into a different reality. Maybe momentarily, perhaps you will doubt it, but it will happen. Down the line, it will happen to more and more of you. And I will say the last question that we were going to deal with today was about the nature of ascension itself. And if you die and you leave this incarnate body, this physical 3D body that is dense, and your soul comes back to its light body phase, isn't it already ascended? That's the question. Like, what are we trying to ascend here? How does this work? And what dimension are you in when you are not incarnate at all, when you are deceased, and when you are a spirit, when you are soul? And so I will tell you that this is complicated, yes. But the goal here, the Earth, this beautiful planet that has been here for so long, and that was a very beloved creation of Source, and very beloved by every being that's ever lived here, has lagged behind other planetary systems and stayed primarily in 3D for a long time. And part of that, the good part of that, is that souls wish to incarnate here to experience that density, to experience the sensory detail, the depth of emotion, there was a reason for it to stay here that long, so that there was this experience available to souls, because it was quick learning, it was deep immersion, it was real a sensory experience that could be unequaled anywhere else in the cosmos. And that is saying a lot, because the cosmos is huge. But along with all of that sensory detail and density of experience, there was also depth of emotion. Well, some of that emotion were emotions that caused people to have wars and violence and murders and arguments. And some of the experience of sensory detail caused people to be addicted to sex and food and drugs. And there are negative sides, and the chaos everywhere. And there have been, of course, beings that wish to keep things the way they are because they enjoy the chaos and they feed off of it. And we are always defending against them. They are still from source, but they have lost their way. They are not, they have not themselves ascended to the understanding of the oneness of all beings. And so their agenda is to create chaos and to create negative emotions and experiences which they feed off of. And so That is one aspect that you've heard of before, and it is somewhat true, but it is not the main course of things here. That it is time for the earth herself, who is a sentient being, wishes to not, she has also been assaulted for her rich natural resources and treated badly by the inhabitants of earth. And she is going through many natural upheavals, I would say. The weather patterns are changing, and there is not peace in Earth. There is a reaction to all of the changes that humans have made, which cause patterns of the tectonic plates, patterns of weather, patterns of the oceans, patterns of ice. It's just changing everything, and the Earth herself is ready to move on to the fifth dimension. And that means she herself must be vibrating at a higher rate and lighter, and is shifting to become that. And she wishes to take with her the experience of Earth. Earth, not a bald, lifeless planet, but a planet that is in harmony with itself, with trees and plant life and animal life and elemental life, with oceans, with rivers and mountains, and all the beauties that you know Earth for are still intact in the fifth dimension. She wishes to take all that with her. And the beings that live on her, that rely on her, that she nurtures, they are her children. She wishes to take that with her. And so even though when your soul comes into a three-dimensional body, and it is built for you, it is assembled for you to match your soul, to give you all of the pros and cons that you need to accomplish your soul's mission, but it is temporary. It is a temporary, made from the elements of Earth for you, assembled from the Earth for you, and will age and will eventually fall to the dust again and become part of Earth, whereas your soul is eternal. But we wish to, when you are bonded with that body, there's a miraculous thing that happens. It connects your soul, your mind, your heart, and your body all together for a time. And it is necessary for Earth to become an ascended planet and to bring with her all that belongs to her. The souls that come to enjoy life on Earth also need to be vibrating high enough to be able to inhabit the materials that will form their bodies. And so it is necessary for humans now that are in transition, to understand that they need to consent to this raising up of the stuff of the planet. They need to be aware. They need to become fifth dimensional adjacent, at least. To allow this to happen, there has to be free will. We can't have souls that are trying to descend into 3D bodies on an Earth that is not 3D anymore. That's complicated to explain. But yes, we are trying to ascend the whole planet, and we are trying to ascend everything on the planet, and all the stuff that the planet is made of, and the whole solar system, and all the plant life and the animal life and the human life, so that everything that exists in the physical world, which is still a physical world in 5D, is higher, is vibrating higher, is lighter, is made from different kind of matter. And that involves the intention and the consent of the people who are inhabiting those bodies. Now, on the other part of this is that the soul that you are given is also a complex sort of like hierarchy of, there is who you are. You are from source. You are a being from source. You are one of a kind. You are like a snowflake. You are individual, and your individual soul has collected memories, experiences, and preferences, skills, talents, initiations throughout many, many, many incarnations in all over the place and all over the universe. And there are young souls that are just starting out, and there are some that have been around for millennia and have been to many planets and have a large vocabulary and a large memory bank of things that they have collected and remember to be uniquely themselves. Now, there still, however, is a sort of a stepping down effect, that there are very, very high dimensional beings and that have come from source. The more information you collect and the more you open to, it's like a coming home thing. You come from source, but when you incarnate in different places, you may not know that. You are always under the veil of illusion. And you aspire to learn that, to wake up to that knowledge. And you also learn to be incarnate and also to express the divinity within you more generously. And so that raises your vibration. And as it raises your vibration, your soul also grows and raises its vibration. And so it is not that when you die in between incarnations, or if you spend a large time in an interim state in your light body, you're still not at the same elevation or plane of vibration that, for example, an ascended master would be. Your soul is learning, it's young. It is like being in kindergarten and being in high school or being in college. You get to that point with age, with experience, with learning, with successful trips that teach you something, that wisdom. And so the more experiences, the older your soul is, the higher and the more you strive to become more of who you could be, the higher the vibration you are. And so at this point, when you leave your body, yes, you are a light body. You are not in a dense body, and you are vibrating at a high. Whatever is left is vibrating at a high, invisible to others on the earth, vibrational frequency. But you still have lots of room to ascend. And the opportunity for your soul to do so is for you to come back into some kind of different incarnation somewhere and grow your soul some more. While you are just floating around in your light body, and you are enjoying that interim of peace and serenity and oneness, being infused again with the sense of oneness with all creation and with source, that is refreshing. It is relaxing. It is regenerating for you. And there are ways that you can actually grow your soul from that position, also by being helpful as a guide for those that are incarnate too. That is also possible. But the quickest and best way for you to gain a higher vibration for your soul and to grow it to a different level of source energy is to incarnate again somewhere and to work to raise the vibration of the being that you're inhabiting. Does this sort of make sense? It is complicated. And so, yes, you are ascending. At what you are doing, the short version is you are helping the earth to ascend. You are volunteering to come here at this moment to help your particular piece of the earth, which is your physical body and your beingness. You are helping that part of the earth to ascend, while you are also helping your own soul to gain points, to gain the vibrational level with your own understanding, with your own expansion of light, with your own um, new. It's like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon too, and it flies. It's changed. It's transformed itself. It sees things from a different perspective. It is it is now able to exist on a higher level and be comfortable there. So you're lifting your own soul to ascend as well. And just because you are in dead and invisible to your friends and family in 3D, you are definitely in a plane you're in a plane which is vibrating beyond their range of perception, but it doesn't necessarily mean your soul is that much more developed than those that are down in still incarnate. In fact, there's an old funny trope that says just because your uncle, you could go to a medium and contact some of your dead relatives, it doesn't mean your Uncle Charlie is any smarter in the other side than he was on Earth. So don't listen necessarily to guidance from your Uncle Charlie unless you know that he's got great wisdom. The thing is, as I said, these things you will understand them immediately. When you depart from your body, you will understand how things work because you've been through this many times before, and the veil of forgetfulness will be lifted from you. But there is a reason you are here and now, and it is twofold. It is for you to grow your own soul through the experience of helping this body, this planet, and this community of beings ascend. And therefore, your own soul is going to expand itself and be vibrating at a higher vibration as well. And the more you can do that here while you're still here in this body, the faster you will help all of this to happen and push it forward. So yeah, this is something that is worth questioning and worth contemplating, but everything you're doing is already right. You are working towards this. And as we said, for right now, be here now. Let go of what does not serve you. Keep winnowing. Keep winnowing out the things that are not nourishing for you. Gently, slowly, if you need to, with thanks, with gratitude, with love. Let go. Let go of things that do not serve you. Let go of the things that aren't working for you. Let go of the beliefs that are no longer true for you. Let go of the aspirations that do not push you in the right direction, and just move forward at a pace that feels comfortable, but boldly, fearlessly, knowing you are surrounded with assistance, knowing we are there for you, and knowing that there is light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, that you are walking towards something really wonderful. And when you do it here in this community, you are doing it hand in hand with others too, which makes the journey a lot more enjoyable. And with that, I wish you a very, very happy and productive and exciting and miraculous and, wonderfully rewarding new year, and the whole year of 2026 of a 10 year, which is filled with new beginnings, fresh starts, and possibilities that you hadn't dreamed of before. Much love and blessings and respect. Your Merlin. Well, that is the message for today. And as I didn't have any idea what he was going to say, I am kind of blown away by all the information there. And I hope you are too. I hope that, Catherine, I hope you stayed to hear that because I thought it was pretty interesting. And there's a lot I'm going to have to sort of go home and go, do I get this or not? But I think it was, I don't know. He likes teaching. In TAG, we're doing so many different things. So many of you are doing wonderful healings, and you're doing blessings, and you're helping people release, and you're helping people grow, and you're You're using sound, and you're using angels, and you're using cards, and we're reaching out and channeling every kind of being in the universe. There's like so many now that I can't even keep track of them all. But with Merlin, what he wants to do is sort of like meet you where you are now and say, okay, do you understand this? Let me teach you how to look at it. Because we've got one foot in a world that's just like miraculous and very, it's incredible, but it's scary because we don't always understand it. And then we've got one foot in real life because we still have to participate in real life. And by real life, I don't mean it's the only real thing. I mean, it's physical, it's solid, and we got to do what we have to do. And we're encountering it every day. And so being in that place of being in transition all the time is wobbly. But Merlin wants to teach you how to look at things so that you understand what's really happening behind the scenes. And that's my job, I think. I think that's majorly what my job is. And I hope I do it okay. So I'm sending you lots of love. And thank you for watching, if you are watching or if you will be watching. And we'll be back on January 30th with something else. And that will be at 3 o'clock on a Friday. And sending you love. Blessings. Hope that the road is easy. Bye.